The following is a presentation of 4-Star Sports Media. Hey fans, did you know that 4-Star Sports Media now has a YouTube channel? You can catch exclusive content covering all things Memphis Tigers and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Shows like The Point, and the only show on social media about the Arkansas Razorbacks that is purely fan-driven inside the Hog Pen. Plus other shows like The Hog Trough, the 4-Star Sports Show, and many more coming soon. So check them out today. Go on YouTube.com and search 4-Star Sports Media. Welcome to the 4-Star Sports Media College Football Pickem Show. Now, live from the BA Mask Studios, here is your host, from The Point, Wes Pruitt.
Hello, 4-Star Nation, and welcome to the BA Mask Studios. Got another full house again for a special Tuesday night college pick'em. Willie B's down there in the corner. He's in the house. Bum's out there in Germantown. Nathan's out there in Oakland. Zach's in Benton. I'm in CrossFit. We're all over. Guys, what a wild week of college football last week. We saw some wild games. I saw a game that wasn't all that fun to watch, personally. So let's get into it. Zach, what did you find most interesting from last week?
A&M actually has a football game, or a football team. Like, holy crap,
dude. They've had one.
So, there's that. I mean, you can do the Red River rivalry. You can do LSU just in utter, complete collapse. I mean, there's a number of them out there.
Yeah, there is. So which one would you say is your most interesting from last week?
Well, since Katie is a Texas fan and they choked, I'm going to go with Texas getting beat by OU.
Yeah, that was just a complete meltdown by Texas. Will, we'll come to you next, man. What about you?
So as far as what I'd kind of pinned as my surprises for the week, honestly, I didn't go into last week seeing Bama get upset. That was one thing that kind of, hit my radar. The other would actually be seeing Wake Forest remain unbeaten. They're 6-0. Dave Clawson's got that team playing really, really well. I mean, granted, first couple wins weren't anything big, but they still play really well. They've got a pretty tough schedule ahead of them. So, I mean, I'm interested to kind of watch them moving forward, see what they do in the ACC.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you to everybody watching right now, Facebook, YouTube, on the 4-Star Sports Media side of things, and then on the Inside the Hog Pens page as well. Thank you to everybody watching, commenting, loving, liking everything that we do. We appreciate it. Brandon, I'll come to you next, man. What was the most interesting thing you found last week in college football?
It's got to be Florida State beating UNC to me. Norvell got himself a statement win. They've been struggling all year. UNC is a pretty decent team. They're not ranked anymore. They're not great. But, I mean, Norvell's team put on a hell of a fight on Saturday. I was very happy for him and that staff down there getting a much-deserved win after the crap that they've been through. And – yeah, that's other than A&M beating Alabama. And ironically, it was not in golf as Nick Saban said it would be in. It was actually in football. I believe that's pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, Brandon said, I believe I think the most surprising team besides Arkansas is Kentucky. I believe this will be a trap game for the Bulldogs. I don't know, man. Georgia is elite, absolutely elite.
Well, the thing is, Georgia's playing on a whole new level that I mean, we haven't seen out of Georgia in a long time. And guys, we all knew this was coming at some point in the last year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, since Kirby stepped foot on campus, that's what he's been doing. He's just building to this point through his recruiting, through his player development. I mean, all the moves he's made. Kirby's a hell of a football coach. Nathan, we'll come to you, man. What was your biggest surprise of the week?
Well, besides my boys getting beat by A&M in College Station, which really isn't really a shocker to me, to be honest with you guys. I mean, it's College Station. It's a tough place to play. Anything can happen. But besides that, it had to be Oklahoma, Texas. Texas being up by 3 touchdowns and then giving it up because Oklahoma decided to put it in the second string. Caleb came in and ended up winning the game for him, and Spencer Rattler being benched. So now looking ahead for the Oklahoma Sooners, it looks like Spencer Rattler sitting the bench for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and there was actually there was a report put out that Rattler had actually quit the team, but then after talking with multiple people, he decided to come back. I honestly feel bad for that young man. I mean, he's got the pressure of Oklahoma, the entire Oklahoma fan base on him. And I mean, let's look at who's been there prior to him. I mean,
they've had 4 Heisman Trophy winners. Like, it's hard to live up to that expectation there.
That's what I was just going to say. He's filling some humongous shoes, but he's also signed with multiple companies that are investing millions and millions of dollars in this young man. Honestly, I feel for him because that's a lot of pressure to be under at a very, very young age.
There was talk, guys, that apparently they were celebrating on the field after the game, and he wasn't anywhere near the field at that point. He was seen.
Yeah, so every year, either Texas or Oklahoma, whoever wins the big river shootout,
Red River rivalry.
Yeah, Red River, whatever it's called. They didn't change the name of it like 6 times because you can't say shootout or whatever the crap it was. They always take a picture with the hat, you know what I mean, all that, and he was not in the picture. He was in the locker rooms. I mean, it's got to suck. He was a freaking Heisman Trophy. They were pretty much almost giving it to him in preseason.
Yeah, not to shoot him down or anything, not to talk bad about him, but there's a meme going around. I think I told you guys in pre-show that said that he went from a first-round draft pick to Heisman winner to first-team All-Kroger cashier in one day.
Yeah, I mean that's
a little
funny.
That's funny, but it's a little pushing it at this point.
Oh, most definitely.
He's got potential to be a draft pick.
Oh, he will be a draft pick. There's no question about it.
Somebody will pick him up, and he will outperform everybody that is there. I personally think he's a bit overrated, but I do think he can be a very good quarterback in the right system. I think at Oklahoma, like I said, they've had 4 previous quarterbacks win the Heisman Trophy. I think there is huge implications for him to play the quarterback position at Oklahoma. That expectation is ungodly. They expect you to compete for a national title and win a Heisman Trophy every year, and that just doesn't happen.
Well, I mean, let's talk about this for a second. You talk about putting the pressure on him. Look at all the little bandwagoners for Alabama that now want Saban fired because they don't like to lose a game.
Alabama, bring it up.
I got it. I got this because I've been dying to say something on here about that. Look, here's the thing. Alabama, before we became Saban Nation and started winning football games and championships, we used to be on probation. We used to have 7-5 records. Sometimes not even 7-5, 6-5. Or 7-4. Sometimes it was 6-5, 3-8. I mean,
It was terrible. Yeah,
list goes on and on. And the coaches that we had
Thanks for
back
Albert
then,
Means, by the way.
yeah,
Do
and-
what?
I said thanks for Albert Means.
yeah, y'all welcome
Oh,
for
yeah.
Albert.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Y'all welcome for that one. But here's the thing:
You can blame Hal Mummy for that too. But go ahead.
Right, asking for Saban to be fired because you lose one freaking game. I'm sorry, but we lost to Ole Miss a few years back, one game, and it was Hugh Freeze that beat us. And I'm pretty sure that same year we won the championship and we had one loss. So all the bandwagoners, this is why, as a Bama fan, I like it when we lose sometimes because it knocks our players back down a little bit to get them focused on you ain't got that pressure of being number one and going undefeated. You finally got a loss. It's like Saban said, you know, you got to see what your contribution was to the loss, and fix it. And that's why when Alabama comes back after a loss, it's usually Alabama's back kind of situation to where they unleash all sorts of hell.
Yeah, I don't want to be Mississippi State this week.
Look,
no, I don't.
No.
Look,
no,
hey, at least that game is in Starkville.
And it is, yeah. But here's the thing.
But you also have to look at it this way. After Alabama comes off of a loss, they usually unleash hell for the next 2 seasons. So good luck for the next 2 years to all the other SEC opponents. You're not going to beat Alabama. And then whoever beats them in 2 years will celebrate like they won the national title.
Well, but I said before, as long as Saban is at Tuscaloosa and he's drawing a breath and a paycheck, there's a loss for Alabama is far and few between.
I mean, y'all, if y'all want to look at something, look at Alabama's recruiting class. We just picked up the number 1 tight end in the nation, for crying out loud. But not just that, but guys, I mean, you got to think about it like this. Alabama's coming, off that loss, but our quarterback, Bryce Young, he played in the swamp. You know, he got used to that. He played in I'm sorry, I'm trying to read what he said. With us,
Brad Staten says, I told a friend at work that is a Bama fan last week that it is easy to be a Bama fan. Then they go and lose. And she messaged me and asked if this is what it's like to lose. LOL.
No, and that's funny. But no, here's the thing, though, is Bryce Young is a young quarterback. He's still got a lot of work to do, even though he's head of the Heisman race or whatever. But, I mean, I'll be honest with you, he's still got a lot of work to do. But I give him credit to maintain composure and being down like he was at College Station and to kind of try to bring a comeback in. Yeah, we made a lot of bad plays. I mean, hell, there was a lot of calls. Malachi Moore, which is one of our top defensive backs, got taken out for targeting.
That was such a BS call.
That's what I was going to say next. It was a BS call. But then A&M targeted us, and they said, "Oh no, it grazed the helmet." So I'm ready. I'm ready for NCAA to get a hold of this targeting crap and get it straightened out to where it's not that a player
they never will.
Yeah, they probably never will. But they got to do something because some of these guys, they're getting scared to even hit the dude.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to get taken out of the game, let alone taken out of this game and in the first half of the next, and all that. So it's just a lot of things NCAA's got to fix. But they're too busy worried about messing up Memphis's basketball team right now. So,
right. But see, and the other thing that they need to fix too, Nate, to caveat off of that, is the fake injuries. I mean, you see that everywhere. Arkansas, Ole Miss.
Wes and I could go on and on.
Arkansas, Ole Miss. Every time we gain momentum, you'd see one guy just standing around. Next thing you know, it looks like somebody just popped him in the back of the knee, and he's like, "Oh, I'm supposed to go down." Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's like just to get to my most interesting or surprising Memphis Saturday against Tulsa. That was a long trip there. It was a long trip home. But just we couldn't tackle. We couldn't do anything. I mean, it just made no sense to me whatsoever. It just surprised me. It just surprised me of how dead we were. And then the other thing that surprised me is if you're the University of Tulsa, it's homecoming. I understand you're one and whatever, but nobody was there. No one. It just didn't make any sense to me. It really surprised me. There was a nice contingency of Tiger fans there. That was nice to see. Moved down and sat with them, but that game really surprised me last week. It really did, and it also frustrates me. But we'll get into that later. We'll come to you next, man. What are you looking forward to this week in week 7 of college football?
Man, honestly, I'm looking forward to going up to the Liberty Bowl on Thursday for the Tigers hosting the Navy midshipmen. That's probably what I'm most looking forward to, just because I get to go there and get to see the game live, cover it for a little while. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But I mean, there's a lot of really good matchups this weekend. I know we're going to get into that here in a little bit, but that game, that Navy game, I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I agree. Brandon, what about you, man?
If I could ever get this thing off of mute, I'm looking forward to seeing how Alabama bounces back in Starkville. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing Memphis get a win this week. And for those of you that don't know, there's college football on TV right now. Louisiana is playing Appalachian State. So I am looking forward to watching the rest of this game as well.
Yeah, and that's actually the first game on our Pickem list. I apologize, guys. Nathan, we'll come to you next. What are you looking forward to this week, man?
I'm sorry. I think the one thing I'm looking forward to about this week is, yes, for one, the Alabama, see how they bounce back against Mississippi State in Starkville, which Starkville's not easy either, guys. Let's just go ahead and say it. It's not. Those cowbells get to ringing. Trust me, it'll give you a headache, and it just makes things 10 times louder.
Nathan, you got to think Mississippi State went into Kyle Field and beat A&M.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So it's gonna be a good matchup for us.
State's coming off a bye week. Coming off a bye week. They're going to be up big. I don't think they'll win the game, but I do think they could make it interesting.
Yeah, they will definitely make it interesting. I will never put anything past Mississippi State. The only time I put stuff past Mississippi State was when Dak Prescott was there, and that's because State got I think they were in the top 5 or something like that, and Alabama came in and just swiped them.
Yeah.
But besides that, I that is one game I'm looking forward to checking out. But also I'm looking forward to the Georgia-Kentucky game. Georgia coming off of a good win and Kentucky beating LSU. So this game's going to be very interesting to me, guys, because it's going to be in Athens, so it's going to be at Georgia. So Georgia will have that home field advantage. But Kentucky's coming in high on something, thinking that they can pull the upset off against Georgia. And here's the thing, is that in the SEC, and all y'all guys can agree with me, in the SEC, anything can happen. I've seen Kentucky pull upsets off. I've seen it. They pulled the upset off against Florida just this year. Let's just see if they have another one in them or not. So that's going to be an interesting game to check out.
They may very well be able to. The game that I'm not necessarily most interested, but I am definitely looking forward to it, is this Auburn LSU matchup. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. Auburn Arkansas matchup.
I was going to say.
I apologize. I'm very interested to see if Arkansas can continue to keep their offense rolling like they had last week against a team that plays no defense in Ole Miss. But I'm also interested to see how they defend Bo Nix and how they defend this Auburn running attack. Because let's be honest, Tank Bigsby is still a beast for Auburn. So I'm really looking forward to see how that matchup plays out. And then also the Memphis Navy game. That game is going to be very pivotal for Memphis for sure. They've got to fix the issues, the 2 T's, tackling and turnovers. They've got to fix those and fix it quickly. Zach, what about you?
I'd love to say that I want to stay home and watch the Arkansas-Auburn game, but the one I'm looking forward to is that Georgia-Kentucky game. I want to see how good Kentucky actually is going up against somebody as elite as Georgia. You know, Georgia's playing on an elite level right now. They're not letting anybody in that end zone, and when they do, it's far and few between. So I want to see how Kentucky really is and if they are legit a contender in the East.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a very interesting week of college football. Let's get into some picks, fellas.
Let's do our standings, and then we'll go to break.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So our standings kind of got boogered last week because of all the technical difficulties. However, we do have a lot of ties when it comes to the weekly standings. Will is our winner for week 6 at a perfect 9-0 of the games we were able to pick all together.
Did you parlay those, Will?
You're on mute, Will. You're on mute, Will.
You're on mute.
I didn't have things quite lined up, but no.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I didn't. Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
Wes, you and I tied at 8-1, and then Bum, Nation all came in at 7-2. So that alters things a little bit. Out of 109 games for myself, Christian, Nate, and Wes, it's pretty even. Christian and I are at 71%. Wes or Nate is at 69. Wes, you're at 61. And then Bum picked 100 games so far. He's at 67%. And then, of course, Will at 33-17 is at 66% of 50 games.
Nice. Very nice. Way to go, fellas. All right, we're gonna jump to break real quick, and when we come back, we'll get into the game picks for this week, week 7 of college football.
Support for the College Football Pickem Show is sponsored by BA Masks. Alan McFerrin and company do an amazing job forging the future of face masks in football, lacrosse, and more. Justin Tuck, Robert Kimdici, and now they are in the NIL world with BA athletes. They are BA. And now, back to the show.
Welcome back, guys. We've got a very interesting week. First game is actually underway right now between App State and Louisiana. Can I get a score update from somebody?
20-3, 13-12 to go in the second.
Nice.
Second quarter. Louisiana over Appalachian State.
All right, I'm going to take App State in this game to get the win. Will, what about you, man?
Man, I had App State's picked initially.
Can't change it now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, winning the game. I had them winning the game 30-20 because I think they were laying 4.5. So,
yeah. Bum, what about you, man?
Well, I never had anybody picked, so I'm going to go with the easy pick right now so I can get a free win and pick Louisiana Lafayette.
You realize now that you've picked them, Bum, they're going to lose, right?
Take that free money, Bum. Don't let him discourage you. Take that free money. What about you, Zach?
I had my picks done before the show.
Yeah.
So I went App State.
Okay. Nathan, what about you, man? App State, Louisiana Lafayette.
Yeah, I actually had this pick before, and I was going with I was actually going to go with App State. You know, Luke Holmes' alma mater, so that's what I was going with.
Okay, all right. Up next, we've got a ACC matchup, which I think can be quite interesting this week, between the Clemson Tigers and the Syracuse Orangemen up there in the Carrier Dome. That's not an easy place to play, fellas. Not an easy place to play. Syracuse comes in 3-3. Give me Syracuse to pull the upset here and get the win over Clemson at home. They might storm the field in the Carrier Dome. That's $250,000, though. Will, what about you, man? You think Clemson's going to get the win here?
I will take them getting the win. I will take them laying the 14 points. And if I were betting on this game, I would take the over 45.5 points.
Most definitely take the over on this one. Zach, what about you?
Give me Clemson.
Okay. Nate?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Clemson on this. Syracuse, I mean, they really haven't impressed me much. The only team that they really, I mean, they got beat by Florida State. So, yeah, give me Clemson.
Okay. Bum, what about you?
Give me the Clemson Tigers. I think they beat the crap out of Syracuse. I don't think Syracuse is a good football team at all. Also, if Syracuse did win, it's not a $250,000 fine. It's whatever the conference wants it to be, because
Well,
A&M was fined. The A&M was fined $100,000.
Yeah.
It was their first time storming the field.
Yeah, true. Up next, we've got a American Athletic Conference game, which is going to be quite interesting, fellas. That's a big point spread for a Gus Malzahn coach team. Cincinnati comes in riding high, number 3 in the nation, 5-0, big win over Notre Dame. Everybody watched it. Central Florida comes in 3-2. The Gus bus is kind of rolling, I guess, kind of limping along this season. I think it's his sweater vest. I think if he would just go back to the sweater vest, everything would be okay. But I digress. Will, we'll go to you first, man. Do you think Central Florida's got the guns to take down Cincy?
Man, I kind of like the sweater vest idea. If we go back to that for a second,
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the sweater vest. That said, no, I don't. I mean, they've got a decent offense. I think they have enough to kind of keep pace with Cincinnati, but I think Ritter will keep rolling. I've got Cincinnati winning. I think 20.5 is a really big number. So I would take the points, but I would take Cincy to win.
Okay. All right. Bum, what's your thoughts, man?
Cincinnati's going to destroy them, and then Memphis has to go down to UCF next week. It's not looking forward to it. So give me Cincinnati in this one.
All right. Nate?
Yeah, I'm gonna also take Cincinnati. They're rolling strong right now. I'm actually hoping and praying that they make playoff. That'd be awesome for them. I think they deserve it. So yeah, give me Cincinnati in this one.
Okay. Zach, we'll come to you next. What about this? Cincinnati or Central Florida? Cincinnati or Central Florida, Zach?
Give me Cincy.
All right. Give me Cincy. And I think they'll beat them by more than 20.
Sorry, guys, I had to step away. Did we all pick Cincy or did somebody pick UCF?
No, nobody picked UCF.
Okay.
Nobody picked the Black Knights. Up next, we've got what I think is going to be another pretty good game. Michigan State comes in on the backs of Kenneth Walker III from Arlington, Tennessee. Young man is a great young man, great parents, just good overall kid. Michigan State comes in for only a 4.5-point favorite on the road against a stingy Indiana team. Now, I love this head coach from Indiana. I don't know that Indiana's got the horses, though. Give me Michigan State, and I think they'll win by more than 4. Will, what about you?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I love Indiana's coach. I like what he's been able to do, and he gets those guys behind him. They haven't really had the year they had last year. This year really hadn't looked like they did last year, this year. Michigan's going into they're 6-0. They're only laying 4.5 points. Indiana's 2-3 and a little bit disappointing this year. Also, Michigan State, they're 25th in the nation rushing per game. So I think they'll win this game for sure.
All right, Zach, what about you?
Give me Michigan State, and I think they win by at least 7.
Okay.
No more than 10.
Yeah. Nathan, what about you?
Yeah, I like this Michigan State team, especially. I like how Kenneth Walker's running the ball. He's doing a great job over there. I'm hoping he's being looked at in the Heisman race too. But I'm gonna go for the hometown boy. Give me Michigan State.
Okay. Bum, what you got, man?
Michigan State, big.
Okay. Well, Texas played Oklahoma last week. This week they got the mullet coming in. Oklahoma State comes into Austin, Texas, take on the still ranked number 25 Texas Longhorns. Number 12 overall in the nation, Oklahoma State. Cowboys coming to town. Only a 5.5-point spread. Give me Oklahoma State big. I mean big. Like 21 or more. Zach, what about you?
You know, I kind of like this matchup. It's going to be interesting to see how Texas responds after dropping it to Oklahoma last week. But I don't think they're going to be able to hang with OK State. Give me OK State.
Okay, Will, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going the same route. I think the Cowboys are going to rope them Longhorns.
Nate, what about you, man?
I mean, I got to give a shout out to Casey Thompson, the quarterback over at Texas, who really came out and, you know, he had the momentum in his favor, you know, going against Oklahoma in that atmosphere. But this will be in Austin, Texas. But Oklahoma State's got something to prove this year, and they are rolling through teams right now. So give me the Cowboys, Oklahoma State.
All right. Bum, you think Oklahoma State's going to knock off Texas, or you think Texas will pull the upset?
I think Oklahoma State's going to get that dub this weekend. I think the mullet gets the win. Well, what was a mullet gets a win, and the Cowboys keep rolling.
All right. Up next is what I think could be the funeral of Ed Orgeron as the head coach of LSU. Florida Gators come to town to Baton Rouge to take on the 3-3 LSU Tigers. Florida comes in 4-2, number 20 in the nation. Fellas, give me Florida big. I think Ed O is fired after this game. Will, what about you?
I'm going with Florida also. I think Emory Jones, he'll run and pass his way to winning this game. I don't know if it's Ed O's head or not on the end of this one, or at least at the end of this one, but he's definitely that seat's getting pretty warm.
Bum?
Well, we all know I want to pick old Coach O down there in the great state of Louisiana, but the Florida Gators are a pretty good football team, so give me Florida in this one. Go Gators and go Tigers.
All right, Zach, what about you?
Before I get to my pick, I just got to pose a question. Before we go firing head coaches, you know, wouldn't he make a change at like OC or DC first? I mean, wouldn't that be the first step? Because if you fire Ed O, who are you going to get? John Gruden?
No, you're definitely not going to get John Gruden.
No, but I mean, you got to look at it realistically. I mean, if you fire a coach 24 months after winning the national title,
I think you go get Lane Kiffin is who I think.
LSU's already made. Ed Orgeron's already made those changes to his defense and offensive.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the original offense after Joe Brady left, when he brought in what's his name, the Matt Canada left, or what? No, I'm sorry, Dave Aranda left to go to Baylor. Those two assistants, he didn't interview them. He admitted that. So these two guys, he vetted. He interviewed them. They were his guys. I just think he's done. I think that fan base is done. I think that the guys with the money down there, the board of trustees or whoever, I think they're just done. But there's also a humongous black cloud hanging over them in not just football. That's not good. It's not good at all.
But no, to get to the pick.
Urban's not going to be available. I don't think they're going to fire him. I do think they let him go. I think Lane Kiffin is a definite possibility for that job.
You think he'd go from one SEC West school to the other? What about a non-compete clause in his contract?
Doubt it's there. It's Lane Kiffin.
True.
I doubt it's there.
But to get my pick, dude, give me Florida. Give me Florida big.
Very true. Very true, Will. Will, we will come to you now. Who you got in this one?
I'm sorry.
I think I already picked that one. I picked Florida.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're all picked here.
Sorry. All right, everybody's
We're all
good.
picked.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, he threw
No,
me
well,
off with
no, hey, whoa. Now you're forgetting me. No, I haven't been.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Florida. Yeah,
Who you got?
I'm the guy that would actually go for the field goal and take it to overtime instead of going for 2 points.
Easy.
Anyways, this game right here, guys, it's going to be Florida taking the win. Ed Orgeron, here's my pick. Ed Orgeron gets fired from LSU. It won't be Lane Kiffin going to LSU. It's going to be Hugh Freeze going to LSU.
Wow. That would definitely rattle some cages, to say the least. To say the least. All right, up next, we've got the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Wrong.
What do you mean wrong?
I got A&M Missouri on my list, the one you sent me.
Oh, my bad. I accidentally rolled over. Up next, we've got Texas A&M coming off a monumental win, to say the least, against the Alabama Crimson Tide, going into Missouri, who just gave up a 60-burger to UT. Give me Texas A&M. I think Daryl Dickey and company is just going to absolutely murder Missouri. Big time. Nathan, we'll come to you. A&M, Missouri.
I mean, I'll take A&M in it, but there has been that thing that people that have come out and beaten Alabama, like I said a few years back when Hugh Freeze did it, they ended up losing to, I believe, Memphis and several other teams after they beat Alabama that year that Hugh Freeze beat Bama. So hopefully Jimbo Fisher can get back on this little horse and do so with A&M, finish out the season strong. So give me A&M.
All right. Well, I mean, Jimbo just earned his contract in one win. Will, what about you, man?
I'm gonna go with the home team. I like Mizzou in this, even though they're 3-3. They're catching 9 points. Connor Basilick hadn't looked terrible, but I mean, I kind of feel like it could go either way. It's kind of a toss up. But Missouri has played. They've been 7-9 at home in their last 9 home games. So I mean, you know, they do have a little bit of a home field advantage there. I know that little stadium can get pretty loud. So
yeah,
I'll take the Tigers.
All right.
Wow.
Wow.
Not expecting that one.
I wasn't either. Bum.
Let's go with Texas A&M. Missouri is just terrible. If you lose to a team like Tennessee by 40, you deserve to get your ass kicked by Texas A&M.
They got drugged, man. They got drugged. It was bad. It was bad. Very bad. Very bad. Zach, well, what do we got next, man?
I'm going to take A&M, but next up we have.
You think A&M's going to win big?
Yeah, honestly, I think they keep. I think they keep rolling on from last week. I think they're starting to build something there in College Station this year. Next up, we've got Nebraska at Minnesota.
Give me Nebraska to get the win at Minnesota. I think Scott Frost. I think Scott Frost can sneak into a bowl game this year. Brandon, what about you?
Hey, well, you know it's ice hockey season up there in Minnesota now, bud. So I think we're going to go with the.
Oh, no. I think he was going to go with the Golden Gophers. Will, what about you?
Man, I don't know. I think the frost is going to thaw. I will take.
That's funny.
I will take the +4 in Minnesota at home. Tanner Morgan, Dylan Wright, Daniel Jackson. They've all looked pretty good. Minnesota doesn't, they hadn't been the best team. But, I mean, I kind of like them in this matchup. I'll take them at home. That's a tough place to play.
Okay. Zach, what about you?
I really don't have a dog in this fight. Give me Nebraska.
All right. Bum, were you about to take Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm taking the Golden Gophers up there in Minnesota, bud. They got a good football team. They're really good on special teams. A buddy of mine's their punter, Mark Crawford from Perth, Australia, and he up
Nice.
there in the cold, and it's starting to get cold out there, bud.
It is.
They play better football in Minnesota when it gets cold. So, yeah, hopefully they're not worried just about hockey season. I think after Nebraska loses this one, bud, Scott Frost is out.
Oh, wow. Oh, Larry from Minnesota making his pick. Thanks, Larry. By the way, I need to get with you and do some ice fishing. I've always wanted to do that. Zach, what about you, man?
I like
Nebraska?
to go fishing, bud.
I already picked on that one.
Okay. You got Minnesota?
I took Nebraska.
Zach.
I don't have a dog in a fight. I only changed them as Minnesota.
No, too late. You already said it. Nebraska.
You know. That'll be my 1L this week.
Probably the most intriguing.
Yeah, I'm also picking Minnesota, by the way.
How big, Nathan?
Minnesota at home, I'm going to say at least about 14.
Okay. All right. Up next is possibly the most intriguing game in the SEC this week. Rankings-wise, I would say it is. Kentucky is traveling between the hedges to take on the Georgia Bulldogs, and we all know Georgia is absolutely elite. I think that's a lot of points. That is a big point spread, but give me Georgia to win, cover the spread, and get the dub at home. Nathan, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to also, I'm going to cheer on Kirby Smart. He's a great defensive mind when he came from Alabama. And, all Alabama fans, we always have a good relationship with Kirby and with Georgia and everything. So I want Georgia to win because I want to meet Georgia again. I want us to meet Georgia in the SEC championship.
Yeah, I think that's going to end up happening. Brandon, what about you, man?
For you.
We gonna do it for the dogs. Do it for the dogs. Down in Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia. See, I said do it for the dogs, and the dogs somehow sitting there going crazy. Yeah, we're picking the Georgia Bulldogs. The Kentucky Wildcats are thicker than the Arkansas Razorbacks. So let's go. Let's go with the Georgia Bulldogs in this game.
What the hell?
Zach
dude?
is going to kill me.
What?
Zach's
We're
gonna
not
kill me.
we're not even there yet. All right,
How you just gonna kick my team under the bus like that?
Zach, what's your pick, man? Kentucky and Georgia.
Man, I want to see another number one go down. It's just not gonna be this week. So give me Georgia. I think they cover and then some. By the way, I've got a game update for you. 3:35 to go in the first half. Louisiana was driving. It was 3rd and goal from their 15, and Appalachian State intercepted it from the end zone. So
Nice.
it's going to be first and 10 App State.
All right, Willie B's got a little guest picker over there. Will, what's y'all's pick?
So this one, we're going to go with the Bulldogs. Obviously, Georgia being at home, they've looked really tough. I think they'll hold up just fine. I do think 23.5 is a pretty big number. I might be tempted to take that, but I definitely think Georgia gets the win. No doubt about that.
All right. Nathan?
What's up?
Is Georgia going to beat Alabama this year? I know I'm jumping way ahead and going off topic, but I just got to know. Are you concerned as an Alabama fan about Georgia?
Oh, yeah, we're always concerned about Georgia. I mean, you look back at the past times we played Georgia, how close it's always been. Even back when Jake Fromm was there. It's always close with Georgia. It's never going to be a blowout. I mean, that's the one thing about it. Yeah. I'm just hoping that Alabama's defense gets it together coming into these next couple of games. And, Georgia is a possible – if you would have asked me who would have beat us this year, one, I would have said Texas A&M because A&M's always got that strong defense.
Right.
And another one would also be Georgia at the SEC championship game because Kirby Smart. He's always building a squad. I mean, he literally is the best assistant that Saban's ever had.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And
Hey, who'd you take in the Georgia game? Zach missed your pick.
oh, I took Georgia in this one.
That's what I thought. I just want to make sure.
Yep.
I didn't really think anybody was going to take Kentucky. Up next, we've got a somewhat interesting game. BYU travels to Waco to take on the Baylor Bears. Those Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The
I'm
Bears.
going to take Baylor to pull the upset here at home and knock off BYU. What about you, Will? You're on mute, buddy.
Well, you're on mute.
Sorry. Me and Parker were discussing her future picks here. I'm sorry.
I got you.
All right. So you got BYU visiting Baylor. Man, I think these are kind of two teams going in opposite directions right now. Baylor's got a little momentum, kind of moving in their direction. BYU's coming off a tough loss. I'll take Baylor at home, -6 to cover all the way around.
Okay. Zach, what about you?
Give me the Bears.
All right. Nathan.
Yeah, so me and my little buddy here, we're gonna go with the Baylor Bears.
All right. Bum.
Mila, come here. Tell them. Tell them. Tell them who we're picking. Tell them we're picking the Baylor Bears. Yeah.
All right. Up next is a game I know Nathan wants to pick.
Yeah.
Nathan, I'll let you start. We got Bama traveling to Starkville to take on Mississippi State. The line is only 17. I think Bama may double or triple that Saturday. But I will say this about Mississippi State. Their quarterback is playing about as good as you can play in the air raid offense right now. He is absolutely surgical in this offense. And I think it may give Alabama trouble, but no. Bama's pissed off. Give me Bama big in this one. Nathan, we'll come to you next. What about you, man? You think Bama's gonna get the ship right, or is it sinking and Bama Nation is crumbling before our feet?
I mean, first off, thank you to the officials from the Texas A&M game for calling that BS targeting on Malachi Moore, because you just gave him a little resting spot to rest up for this game for the air raid, who is a top defensive back for us. So, we appreciate that. And I haven't spoken. And see, the thing is, my brother, he's a Mississippi State alumni, so we haven't spoken because we don't speak this week because of the big game it is. But I'm going to take Alabama, of course. Always back my boys. But I think it's going to be a lot closer. Mike Leach, I think he has something up his sleeve for this Alabama team. And not to mention that, it's in Starkville, man. Stark Vegas. So anything could happen. It's going to be loud. Cowbells are going to be ringing. So hopefully Alabama goes in and silences the cowbells. We'll find out.
Nate, let me ask you this. The game film against A&M, do you think that exposed Alabama to the rest of the conference as far as showing their weakness?
I don't think it necessarily showed a lot of weakness. Bill O'Brien and Pete Golding, offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, a lot of people have targeted both of them for this, the way the game turned out. But Saban stepped in and took over and said, I'm the head coach. All the responsibility falls on to me. He did note that there was a lot of missed calls and everything. I'm hoping that Roach will take over with defensive play calling in this coming up game. He'll take over more of a defensive responsibility than Pete Golding. Pete Golding, I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a good defensive coordinator to a certain extent, but we've had too many games to where our defense has been too many holes in our defense, and I don't think anything really got exposed. It just showed Saban some weak spots that he could fix and work on. And not to mention that the thing about Alabama, and here's a big thing about the A&M game and why we lost. when we're down in the red zone, we always run the ball. The fact that we threw it was a shocker to all of us because Bama doesn't do that. Old school Bama, we run the ball when we're in red zone. So the fact that we threw kind of screwed us a lot. So I think we're going to go back to the old Alabama way where, like everyone saw when we played Ole Miss, we're just going to run the ball.
Fair enough. So where did we leave off? Wes, Bum, did you pick Bama, Mississippi State yet?
I have not yet.
All right, who you got, Bama or Mississippi State?
Well, we're going with the puppy dogs. Yes, we are. We're going with the Bulldogs, aren't we? We're going with the dogs.
All right, Will, where are you and Parker going? Did we lose Will? Looks like we lost Will. All right, Nate. I guess
have to say that's a good portrait. That's a great portrait.
Right, that is a good portrait. So I guess it's just the three of us. All right, next up is TCU at number 4, Oklahoma. TCU's coming in 3-2. Oklahoma 6-0 by the skin of their teeth, and a 13.5-point favorite. Bum, tell me who you got.
Give me Oklahoma. I think TCU could make it a game, but I think Oklahoma gets the dub in this one.
All right. Well, we're going to take a step back. And Bama or Mississippi State? You kind of locked up there for a minute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. So we got Bama winning that one, but we'll take the plus 18 points.
All right. Parker in agreement?
She is, absolutely.
All right. So we are currently on TCU, who is coming in at 3-2. They're at number 4, Oklahoma 6-0, and a 13.5-point favorite. Who you got?
Man, I will go with Oklahoma in this one, even without the Rattler.
All right, Nate, TCU or Oklahoma?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Oklahoma. I think Lincoln Riley has got the quarterback that he wants, and Caleb. And Caleb showed out. He literally showed out in the game against Texas. So yeah, give me Oklahoma in this one.
You think there's anybody left on Oklahoma's schedule that can actually beat Oklahoma? Legitimately?
Oh yeah. There's plenty of competition there. It's just
Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
That OU Oklahoma State game is going to be a good one too. That's Thanksgiving weekend, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Final game of the year for them.
Mm-hmm.
I believe so.
All right. So next up, we have. Let me make sure all my buttons work here. Number 13, Ole Miss, who comes in at 4-1 and a 3-point favorite, going to Rocky Top, taking on the 4-2 Tennessee Volunteers. Nate. Does Ole Miss go into Rocky Top and get the win?
Yes. I will never pick Tennessee. I'm sorry to all my friends that are Tennessee fans. They know me all too well. I'll never pick Tennessee. I'll never say the little whatever y'all want to say. Go whatever.
Whatever.
I will always pick against, and I'm gonna go with Ole Miss in this one. I think Lane Kiffin's gonna. After that close game with and anybody that saw that close game, you saw him praying.
You know what? I saw the same thing, and I was the one praying on that final 2-point conversion for us.
But I think Matt Corral's going to come into this game against Tennessee. It's going to knock Tennessee off the little high horse they're on right now. So,
right.
Give me Ole Miss.
All right. Well, just because I'm pissed at Ole Miss, I'm going to go with Tennessee. Just because I'm not going to pick Ole Miss after what they did to us last week. They lit us up. Bum, who you got? Tennessee or Ole Miss?
Can they both lose? Is there a possible way for both teams to lose?
I wish. I really do. I wish.
Well, we're gonna prove that the University of Tennessee can get off their high horse this week. They're gonna get their ass rocked by Ole Miss. I'm just letting you know right now. It's gonna be like it is when you go to prison. It's just going to be really, really bad for the Vols.
Hang on, before we get to Will Bum, we have a breaking news for you, and Celeste has finally agreed with you. It's a first.
Wow.
You have an Arkansas fan that agrees with you.
Look, there's one team on this earth that I cannot stand. It is the University of Tennessee. I will never pick them. I will never cheer for them. I don't like Ole Miss. I hate Ole Miss, but not as equally as I hate Tennessee. So give me the Rebs in this one, red, black, shark, fin thingies in this one. And I think that they just beat the crap out of the Volunteers this week.
All right, Will. Ole Miss.
I'm gonna go with that guy. I'm gonna go with this guy over here. I'll go with the other Memphis fan. Yeah, I think Ole Miss wins. You got Lane going back to UT. It'll be loud. It'll probably be a pretty high scoring game. I'd take the over in this one too, but I got Ole Miss winning.
All righty. So we got another Big Ten matchup coming up next. In 3-2, Iowa State, a 6.5-point favorite, going to Manhattan, Kansas, and Kansas State, who is also 3-2. Bum, Iowa State, K-State.
Give me K-State in this one. I think they get a win. They got a really good running back. They're a pretty dangerous team, guys. They can beat just about anybody they play. I think they're a pretty good team. So give me K-State in this one.
Will, K-State or Iowa State?
Man, I got Iowa State winning. Skylar Thompson, he's going to keep it close. I mean, I think it could be really close either way.
Come on.
I don't think it'll reach the point total of 51.5, but I would definitely I'll take Iowa State to win. But I think Kansas State could definitely cover, being that they're at home in Manhattan, Kansas.
All right, Nate.
Yeah, so this one, Kansas State was one of the teams to come close to beating Oklahoma and exposing them. And it's like Bum said, K-State's got an awesome running back. And since it is at home, I don't see Brock Purdy doing much in this game for Iowa State. So give me, give me Skylar Thompson and Kansas State in this one.
All right. Next up is the Army Knights at 4-1, going to Madison, Wisconsin at 2-3, who is a 14-point favorite. Let's go with – I want to go with my branch of service that I serve in. Let me go Army. It'll probably be wrong, but I'm sticking with my guns and going Army. Nate, Army or Wisconsin?
Yeah, so I got three brother-in-laws right now. I got two that's in Army and one's Air Force. If I pick against Army, I know I'll be getting a phone call. So I will not do that. I will actually go with Army in this one and give me Army.
All right, Bum, Army or Wisconsin?
Well, I can't pick against the military. So give me the Army Black Knights in this one.
Will, Army or Wisconsin Badgers?
I'm going the same way, guys. I'm taking the 4-1 on Black Knights plus 14. I'm taking the road dog. I'll take them on the money line. I take the under. Wisconsin's quarterback, Graham Mertz, he's only 55.8% completing passes this year, and he's got 7 interceptions. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Army have some takeaways and definitely, definitely take those 14 points, but I could easily see them winning this game.
All right. Kind of interesting that all of us picked Army except for good old Christian, who can't be with us tonight. He picked Wisconsin. All right. So now we're going to another branch of service, traveling to Boise. You get the 5-1 Air Force. What are they? The Thunderbirds? Blue Falcons? Thunderbirds? Something like that?
They're the Falcons, I believe.
Falcons.
Traveling to Boise State to take on the Mustangs, 3-3. They're a 4-point favorite. Nate, we're gonna go back to you. You picking Air Force in this one?
Yep. I'm gonna, like I said, I'll get another phone call.
No, look at here.
The only one, and that's the thing, the only one that went to Air Force, and my father-in-law, who and his and Gage and Tristan all went Army, and Dalton was the only one to go to Air Force. So you know what? I'm gonna back up Dalton on this. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick Air Force. Give me the Blue Falcon.
So Brad Staten, who's a big fan of mine, he's been a long-time fan. He says that Air Force is where the smart kids go. Go Air Force, just for you, Zach. Now here's the thing, and if you're affiliated with the military, if you're married into it, if you're serving, then everybody knows the term Blue Falcon. And this is what I don't understand. It stands for something that I can't say on air. But why would you name your mascot after that, knowing the slang term for it? Nate's over here laughing because he knows what I'm talking about. That's curious to me. Maybe Brad can answer that question for us. All right, Will, Air Force, Boise State.
I'm going to take the road dog in this one, man. They're catching 4.5. They're 5-1. They've got a defense. So I'll take Air Force in this one.
Sorry, Bum just made a comment in our little private chat off to the side, and I'm just wow, Bum. That's all I'm gonna say to that is just wow. Oh, they're not the Blue Falcons; they're the Air Force Falcons. My bad, Brad. My bad. That's my fault. See, that's Army for you. Oh man, that's funny. I'm gonna give me Air Force, even though. Just give me Air Force. I can't pick against the service branches. Bum, Air Force, or Boise.
You know how I said I couldn't pick for the military schools?
Yep.
Or couldn't pick against them?
Yep.
I can't pick against them. I'm picking Air Force, Blue Falcons in this game against Boise. Even though Boise's coming off of a big win against BYU, I do think the Blue Falcons get it done.
Brad's over in Colorado Springs right now pulling his hair out. We're just messing around, Brad. Well, they are. I'm not. All right. Now we get a Pac-12 matchup. I believe that's Pac-12. Number 18, Arizona State, 5-1, traveling to Utah, 3-2. The line is even. Will, you are the parlay master. Let's go. Are you surprised that this is an even line right here? Do we have Will?
So this one we got Arizona. You still? Am I here? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay.
Yes. Okay. So we got Arizona State. I know this is a home game for the Utes, but I like Arizona State in this one.
All right, going with the Fighting Herms. Bum, Arizona State or Utah?
Fighting Herms, baby. Let's go with Arizona State.
Nate?
Yeah, I'm also going to Arizona State. They've come out this whole season and have been handling business. The only loss they had was to BYU, and BYU only beat them by 10. But they came off a big win against UCLA and Stanford. So yeah, give me Arizona State.
Another game update. 8 seconds to go in the first half. 4th and 8. It is 20-6. Louisiana Raging Cajuns.
Wow.
All right, so
my pick was good.
Yeah. All right, so this next one, there is no line on it. It's kind of a nap time game, if you will, in my book. It's the 2-2 Yale. I don't know who their mascot is against a winless UConn. So, who wins the Nobody Cares Bowl? Let's go, Nate.
What's the spread on this?
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
There isn't one. That ought to tell you something right there.
So basically, I can choose UConn, the Huskies, or I can choose Yale, the Bulldogs.
Pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. Give me. I hate I'm gonna say this, man. Give me Yale, dude. Give me the smart kids at Yale.
Dude, I didn't even know. Look, as I was putting the list together this afternoon, I didn't even know Yale had a football team.
Yeah.
Every Ivy League school has one.
Look, you need to watch the Harvard Yale game in football. You talk about a big rivalry. That was always a big one to watch.
It's bigger in basketball.
That's got to be one analytical football game right there.
I think Princeton and Yale.
Yes.
Or Princeton and Harvard.
Princeton's got one too. Princeton and Harvard.
So you want to hear a fun fact about Princeton football? Brady White, former quarterback at the University of Memphis, brother Brevin is the starting quarterback for Princeton. He was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, had an offer from Alabama, turned down Alabama, and decided to go to Princeton to play football.
Interesting. Brad Staten brings up a good point. How is Yale 2-2 with a total of 4 games and UConn has 7?
So the Ivy League has played less games. Their season started later. They play a lot of FCS schools, not a ton of FBS schools. And UConn had to have fillers for their schedule because they're a independent school. So that's why.
All right. Will, who you got? Yale or UConn?
We got the Yale Bulldogs at 2-2. They'll probably win this around 42-14 if UConn can even put up that many. They're just a better team all the way around.
All right. And Bum, you going with Yale as well?
I'm going with the Yale Bulldogs.
All right. We are down to our final 2 games of the night, and they are probably 2 of the biggest for those of us here on staff at 4-Star Sports Media. The first one is Auburn Tigers 4-2 traveling to Fayetteville, Arkansas to visit the number 17 Razorbacks, also at 4-2. We are a 3.5-point favorite. Y'all already know who I'm going with. Give me the Hogs to finally bounce back. And this is the revenge game from last year. My only hope is Mark Curls better not be officiating this game. Let's go. Will, please tell me you got the Hogs.
Well, we're gonna take Arkansas on this one. I think the Hogs and Pittman, they'll win at home, and yeah, they're good.
Nate?
So let me just start out by saying this. Look, KJ Jefferson, he proved himself a lot in the Ole Miss game. His home state, and actually growing up in Sardis, Mississippi, which is not far from
20 minutes from Oxford.
Yeah. And his whole family, dude. I watched the game. His whole family was there. They
That's
were all
why we
getting
lost.
proud. Dude, no, it wasn't because y'all lost. That man came out. He showed out for his family, dude. It was awesome. I got a lot of respect for KJ Jefferson and what he does and how he plays. So, yeah, you know what? Give me the Boss Hogs. Give me Arkansas winning this game and shutting Auburn out and kicking them out.
Here's the thing about that Arkansas Ole Miss game, and I said it in our post game on Inside the Hog Pen. The announcers are supposed to be unbiased, but the problem is your boy Nate, Greg McElroy, seemed to be kissing Corral's butt the entire game. But when it came down to it, KJ Jefferson had the better stat line and played and outshined him at almost every turn.
Hey, let me add something with that. You want to know who else does that stuff? And broadcast on CBS at 2:30, and every Alabama person is tired of hearing his voice.
Let me see. What's his name? It's not
It's
Brad Nessler. Who's the other? Gary Danielson.
Exactly.
Yes.
You talking about somebody that goes one-sided the whole game?
Yes.
Gary Danielson does it. If it's against Alabama, he doesn't like Alabama. He'll always call. Let me tell you, as an Alabama fan, this is what a lot of Alabama fans, such as myself, will do. We'll mute the TV and we'll put on Pete Golding and listen to Alabama broadcast the whole freaking game just so we can not hear Gary Daniels talk.
Why doesn't y'all? I figured y'all did that already because that's how we do in Arkansas with Chuck Barrett. You know, that's how we did in the '90s with Paul Eels. I mean, back before the 2000 Super Bowl, it lined up perfectly. So when I was growing up, I'd turn the TV down and turn Paul Eels up, who's our who's our voice back in the early '90s, late '90s, early 2000s, and now growing up now it's Chuck Barrett, but that gives you the more inflection, and it's so much more exciting too. But Bum, I know Celeste doesn't even want to hear your opinion.
Yeah. Put Celeste's opinion up there right quick so he can see it.
But
yeah,
who you got, man?
I think the San Francisco Giants are going to beat the Dodgers to move on to play the Braves in the NLCS.
That's a wrong show there, Bum.
Oh, sorry.
Wrong show there, Bum.
Well, the Braves just won, so I thought we were talking about baseball. No, so I hate to do this, Arkansas fans. I really do.
Don't worry, Hog fans. I got you.
I absolutely hate to do this. But I'm going to. I'm going to pick.
Should I do it again?
Can I get a little drum roll for this one? We're going with the Arkansas Razorbacks this week, unfortunately. Now that I picked you, you're going to lose. So
yeah, thank you.
I apologize for that in advance. I just don't see how Auburn can beat them. Auburn's not that good of a team. Bo Nix is just not – he's good, but he's not good. You know what I mean? So, whatever the hell your quarterback's name is, Jefferson.
AJ Jefferson.
AJ, KJ.
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 The letter
KJ.
K, J.
AJ Jefferson is a
geez.
good quarterback. He can run.
It's JJ.
JJ Jefferson.
Yeah.
So Triple J. Triple J, good quarterback. He can run. Showed me a lot this weekend. And I got to be honest with you, Hog fans. Sam Pittman has a big old pair of cojones on him for going for two in the end of that game. That made me gain a lot of respect for that guy. He wanted to win, and he went for it, and it just didn't work out. Sometimes that happens. But Arkansas, you got a good future. You have a really good future, actually. I think next year, your team's pretty young. I know you have a lot of guys coming back next year as well. I think next year, I'm not going to sit here and say you're going to win the West because that's Alabama's, but I do think that y'all could contend for at least second place in the West and go to a New Year's Six bowl game.
Excuse me. Do y'all realize that Arkansas, and I'm going to say this right now, do y'all realize that Arkansas is a 2-point conversion away from currently being number one in the SEC West? We are a 2-point conversion away from being the number one team in the SEC West right now. In year two of Sam Pittman.
Yeah, that is weird to think about, but you would still have to play Alabama.
Yeah. I mean, we cherish it for as long as we would,
for sure.
The thing is, the only outside of Alabama, I don't see another loss on our schedule.
Well, you are going to lose to Mississippi State. We're going to put that one out there. And then you'll probably lose to LSU the last game of the year.
No, actually, Missouri's our last game of the year.
You'll probably lose to LSU the week before the last game of the year. The Magnolia Bowl.
That's Alabama. So it's
the week before that. So the week
we're just
before
gonna go
Alabama.
You're just gonna.
Bum, hold on, Bum. Let me just tell you how their schedule is. They got Auburn this week. They got Arkansas Pine Bluff next week. After that, they got Mississippi State. then LSU, then Alabama, then
Loss.
Missouri.
Loss. Win. So
All right,
it looks
so
like
let's
you're
talk
finishing
about-
season 6
if we're Celeste is using my hashtag that I use on my show. I have a segment called hashtag Here's the Thing because that's how I say it. Every show I have a thing where I just go, here's the thing.
I think the people that are listening just skipped over the fact that Nathan just said Arkansas Pine Bluff, and I immediately just said loss.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I caught it. I caught it.
There you go. There you go, Will.
All right,
Willie
so
B.
the final pick of the night is Navy 1-4 traveling to Memphis to take on the Tigers, who are 3-3 and a 10.5 point favorite. Nate, who you got?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I said I couldn't pick against anybody in any military services, but none of my brother-in-laws are in the Navy, so this is one game I can actually pick against. I'm going with the Tigers.
All right. Will?
Man, this is a tough one. The Memphis secondary, they're 128th in the country. They're tied for 121st in the nation in turnover margin at -7. Navy, they averaged about 26 points a game, which isn't great because we should be able to keep up with that. They just came off of an upset against UCF. They're top 5 in the country in run play percentage. They're 57th nationally in total defense. I mean, there's plenty of reasons that you could consider Navy in this, but I will take the Memphis Tigers in this to win. If I was looking at the point spread and that 10.5 points in Navy's catching, I might roll with those. But I will definitely take Memphis to outright win the game at home, hopefully.
So, before we get to bum, we've got a couple of comments. Dusty Hunt said, did Memphis win last week? No, they did not. They did not.
Did Arkansas win last week?
Depends on who you ask. But no. On the stat line, no, we did not.
On the paper, it was a loss.
I'm going to go I can't pick Navy simply because I'm an Army guy and the Army-Navy game's coming up in December. So I'm going to go Memphis. I think they bounce back off this 3-game skid. If not, things are going to get a little hairy in Memphis right now. So with that, we turn it over to the father of Memphis. Boom!
Governor,
Let
not
us have
father.
it, brother.
I'm the governor of Memphis, brother. Looking at that -10.5, I'm putting my money on plus 10.5 Navy all day long. I think it's going to be a close game. And you know how I said I couldn't pick against the military earlier? Well, I lied because I'm picking against them right now. I think Memphis wins in a very, very close game. I think it is going to be closer than a lot of people expect. I think it could be a 1, 2, 3-point game. Hopefully it doesn't come down to a last-second field goal because we know Memphis will not be able to hit it. But I do think that it'll be a close game. I said that on the point last night. I'm very discouraged with how this team has played. They have to get it together. They have to be bought in. It's tough, but yeah, give me the Tigers in this one. Very close, though.
All righty, so there it is. Those are our picks. They are locked in. Now we're going to send it to Big Willie B and his deals of the week and Parker's picks. Will, the floor is yours, my man.
All righty. So we got a couple things we were working with earlier. As far as my deal for the week goes, I've got a little parlay that I was kind of looking at earlier, some things I was putting together. If anybody out there does like to get on FanDuel or something like that, and you wanted to put together a little college parlay this weekend, I would like to take the Clemson-Syracuse over. I would take Michigan State -4.5, and I would also, as much as this may sound crazy to some of the other guys on here, I would take that +9 at home that Missouri's catching in their game. And possibly, depending on what that money line looks like, if you really want to maybe go big and win a little extra, I'd go for that money line number in that Mizzou game. It hasn't been posted yet, at least with the site that I use, but just going with them winning, or at least taking that +9, laying the 4.5 with Michigan, and then taking the over in the Clemson-Syracuse game, 25 will net you 150, so not bad. And then as far as Parker's picks,
let's hear from Parker.
Right? You want to tell them who you picked this week? Can you say it? Texas. She's got Texas.
So she's picking Texas over the Cowboys.
And she's also picking the Hogs this week.
That's my girl.
Right. All right. So those,
right.
Those are Parker's 2 picks this week. She's got Texas winning outright, and the Hogs winning outright. So
we've got her down.
Parker's picks for week 7.
All right, gentlemen. Final thoughts of the night before we get out of here. Nate, you got something, buddy?
I mean, Ed Orgeron on the hot seat. Who's going to take over at LSU? Could be Hugh Freeze, in which that's who I'm thinking is probably going there. I don't think Lane Kiffin's going to leave Ole Miss. He's got too much invested in it. So that's going to be my big thing is who's going to take over LSU because Ed Orgeron, I don't see him bouncing back after this one. I think we're going to see. I mean, you might see him over there at Alabama. We might pick him up or something.
Lord.
Maybe.
As what, another analyst?
I mean, maybe. That's what most of them do.
Right,
hopefully, after he leaves the Alabama school of coaching, he won't do as bad as Butch Jones is right now.
Brad Staten, where did I get that hat? I got this hat at where did I get this hat at? I got it at the Stadium Shop in Fayetteville, just down the street from Baum Stadium. It is my lucky hat. I am currently 3-2 in this hat.
Baum Stadium?
Baum Stadium. B-A-U-M. Baum Walker. So go in there. Robert Mann has got some great stuff in there for you guys that are in Fayetteville. He does have a website. He is not my sponsor. I'm just giving him a shameless plug because when Hog Heaven doesn't have my gear, I go to the Stadium Shop. But, gentlemen, that's going to do it for Nathan Wilson, Willie B., Brandon Bumgarner, and Wes Pruitt. I'm Razorback Zach. You've been watching the Week 7 College Pickem show from 4 Star Sports Media. Until next week, so long, everybody.